he was he they were in he once the ceremony ended. Yeah, once the actual ceremony ended, he was a little bit more in high stress mode. My family has a tendency, or sorry, my dad's side of the family has a tendency to just kind of like be a little utilitarian at times, and so like once the meal was over, once the dessert was served, and dancing started. So he was unfortunately a little bit in high stress mode. So I will mock him for it when he comes back from Colorado.
Nice. That's a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Hello.
Hey YouTube.
What's going on?
What did I send you guys this week?
I got to figure out what I'm following. I have a lot of rants, but I don't necessarily have anything. Oh wait, I did write down something though.
The person who mocked Chili's.
Wait, so
yeah.
Chili's? Listen,
Jail.
It's
That's
not
really
cuisine.
a jail.
It's
That's a jail. That's not what I'm following.
Yeah, it's not cuisine, but it's not.
How dare you,
Chili's
Josh?
right.
It is.
Are you
It's
gonna say- are you
authentic
gonna say-
Tex-Mex. Authentic.
Okay. Hey YouTube, I'm glad you're.
And
on
as someone
this, 'cause
from
I'm about to-
Ohio, I
about some-
definitely
about some
understand
murder.
what Tex-Mex is better than Josh.
And listen, for the YouTube streamers, I'm also not claiming that Chewy's is even authentic Tex-Mex. Don't catch me
Chewy's
saying
is
that.
not.
Give me Chili's over Chewy's all day.
Oh,
Frosted mugs, man. Frosted mugs.
glad you like them, and I'm glad you like their $2 Long Island iced teas. But like, it's not high food. Listen, it's microwaved bag food, and listen, there's no shame in that. There's no
How
shame
dare
in that
you,
at all.
sir.
How dare you go into the kitchen and see how many microwaves they have?
You can get $10 takeout there. They
I'm
give you
not
the
saying they're
entree. They
bad.
give you a
I'm not saying they're great.
bag of chips
It's good.
and a
I'm
tub of
saying it's
salsa
tasty.
and
It's
dessert.
Tasty. It's
$10.
delicious. It's not like
I live off that when I
handcrafted
travel
food.
from work.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's great, Johnny. You can't pretend that this is cuisine.
Man, you can make it with your elbows. It doesn't have to be your hands. It's made with love and it's delicious. I love
Have
it.
you met any of those chili chefs? You cannot say they're making things with love.
Oh. Aaron, you have a good straight to jail.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people I could put in jail this week.
It's just
A
one of those
lot.
weeks, man. You know.
A lot of
It's one of
the
those
prison
weeks.
is full. It is full.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Hold on. Where's my phone?
The one that I sent to you guys about the Golden Bachelor, is that real?
I'll have to ask Danielle.
Hold on.
It's like
I'll
an
verify.
older. Do you see ABC will finally produce a senior citizen season of The Bachelor where a hopeless romantic is given a second chance at love and the search for a partner with whom to share the sunset years of life? That's such a nice way of saying it. The
hold on.
sunset years of life.
Base hit left field. Nice piece of hit by Will Brennan. Didn't try.
I don't know, Variety published it.
Yeah,
Stand
but
on what you're
Parade put out that Martha Stewart is going to be one of them.
Well, she was just on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover, so you know.
Hey, I did not need to know that.
It used to be.
Well, yeah, it kind of backs up the point, Josh. So I kind of had to share it.
You maybe, but I did not want to hear that.
So apparently in the Cleveland Guardians game, someone hit a line drive and it hit a bird, and the bird died. So that's now 3 birds dead in the course of baseball. So now everyone's like, Rob Manfred supports killing birds. I love it.
Of course he does.
Good job, Twitter. Well done.
Rob Manfred for killing birds.
Yep.
I'm in.
Someone
There's
tweeted
so
the
many-
Atlantic League is experimenting with a no ball rule for safer, faster games. That's quality tweet.
Everything's a strike. Yes.
You know what?
Everything.
Angel Hernandez is still going to find a way to miss that.
If everything's a strike, is anything a strike?
That's an excellent point, Joe.
Did you guys see the video I shared, which is like been trending since May the 4th because they came out with that like Young Jedi show on Disney for like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And every time there's something with it on social media, it's just all of the Order 66 memes, which is terrible. That's all the comment section is. Oh no.
$20 per guest. Johnny, straight to Joe, anybody who hates this. $20 per guest is fantastic.
Yes, thank you, Josh.
I never said Chili's was bad. We just don't have any near us. We're an Applebee's
I feel
family.
like it is more of a Midwest thing, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
So there's Applebee's down south, but
they're very similar.
Yeah.
Chili's is better, but
Chili's is Southwest's Applebee's. Have you seen that? Hold
just
on.
like all of
I got a
Barton is
theory.
Italian
I got a theory.
Applebee's. Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. I have a
Red
whole list of
Lobster
those.
is
Red
seafood.
Lobster,
Applebee's. Yes.
It's the Applebee's theory, and it is in fact airtight.
It is correct. It's so true.
Texas Roadhouse is Yeehaw Applebee's.
Yes. I do love a good Yeehaw Applebee's. They
Outback
all have
Steak.
good bread. So,
They
you
all
know.
had good bread, yeah. Yeah, Golden Corral, or not Golden Corral. Cracker Barrel is white people Applebee's.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's true.
True. Prove us wrong, YouTube.
That's right.
Aaron, I'm ready to get my point for the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get started if you guys are ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
and I can talk a little bit about the Stars.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Stars Golden Knights.
Yep. Yeah, both of those series have been insane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me record. Let me launch the
Yeah, I
thing
should
that
probably
lets
do
me
that
record.
too.
I am recording.
Check 1,
I'm
2.
ready.
I'm ready.
No, let's not update 3.3.2.
All right. Welcome to the Fifth and Goal podcast. My name is Aaron. I am joined once again by my good friends Josh and Johnny for episode 111, or as our friends in Rome would say, episode 3. But there you go. There's the lame joke for you. If you get it, I'm so sorry. Josh, please save me from that horribly awkward intro. How was your week?
What did you mean by that joke, Aaron?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
My week was great. We just married off my brother.
Nice.
So he is currently somewhere on a mountain out west,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So just living life with his wife.
Nice.
Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but he's doing great. So I'm just chilling at my folks' place, contemplating my own singleness.
Oh no.
Josh, that was good. Like, relationships and love are like the one thing that's okay for rhyming to occur. So we'll let it
That's
pass.
fair.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I promise you, I promise faithful listeners that will not happen again.
Yeah, we do have a strict no rhyming policy on this show. That's true.
Right, and I've broken that once in 111 episodes. I think we're.
Yeah.
I think I'm due one.
In the name of
one-
love, we're okay.
In the name of love, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Josh, I'm excited to see you in a couple weeks too. I know that'll be fun. Speaking of weddings, we have a wedding where all three of us are at the wedding, but we're not in the wedding, which is arguably the
type of
best
wedding
place
to
to
be
be.
at.
Yes.
Honestly, the most dangerous scenario for those who invited us to said wedding.
Ooh,
That
true.
was
Because
their
we have no responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's not even our city. We can trash the place. No one knows who we are, where we live. We can just jet out.
Yeah, Chiefs drive me crazy.
Yeah, we'll be in Kansas City. So if you're a listener in Kansas City, we won't see you because we'll be at the wedding. But hello, Johnny, what's up, man?
Also, the Royals are trash.
Yeah.
My apartment is only boxes. The pup is very stressed because he does not understand why every possession is being boxed.
Poor mascot.
I had my old crappy couch picked up today, so I'm sitting on the floor to watch the conference finals tonight. So that'll be fun.
That's okay. The Celtics are too.
Oof. Gosh, I don't know what's going on with that. We'll get into that, of course, later on. But yeah, things are good. Just crazy busy. I'm in the middle of moving, so every spare hour is boxing every possession up. And you always think you don't have that much stuff until you have to put it all in boxes, and then you're like, man, am I a hoarder? Every time. And you're not, but
No.
that thought goes through your head.
Yeah. I do have to ask, now that we're a few weeks out, how's the canned Gatorade been?
Oh yeah,
It's
you're deep into that.
outstanding. Yes, thank you. I've been having pretty much one every single day or whenever I feel stressed out.
Nice.
Such as when one places some assets of monetary value on a certain team in a basketball league in this country, and it does not go well. So the canned Gatorade has been a comfort to me.
Yeah, I have no idea what you were referring to, but I'll take your word for it. Well, good. Glad your week is good. Yeah, we'll see Johnny on the road for the next couple of months on this show. So if you're a YouTube watcher, which you can do either live usually at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, or the replays are all available on our channel. If you go to youtube.com/5thandgoalsports, hey, hello, it's our channel. There's a playlist that has all of our past, well, not all of them, but within a lot of past live streams. So anyways, that's available. Guys, my week is good as well. I'm really enjoying the nice weather, trying to get a little bit of tan before I have vacation here in a couple weeks where I will absolutely fry. So I'm trying to make that process as least painful as I can now. So enjoying just fun and outdoor things like pickleball and, fires in the fire pit and played some pickup basketball, like all the fun summer things. It's starting, which is fun. So yeah, my week is good as well. Enjoying the basketball, enjoying lots of other things. College baseball tournaments are starting. It's a good time, which I guess kind of brings us into the playoffs. It's what we've been talking about for the last few weeks.
Segue.
But thank you. I'm struggling today, if you can't tell. Guys, I feel like we've had some really intriguing series to this point. First round had some big upsets. Second round had more upsets, had longer series. You had the Celtics Sixers go 7 games. I think every series went 6 games at least, with one going 7. And here we are in the conference finals. Again, I'll say it because we kind of have to provide a disclaimer. It is a Monday night as we sit right now. Both the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat are up 3-0 in their series. There has never been a conference finals where both sides sweep their opponents. Now, again, I'm projecting a little bit because I could be way wrong. You'll know. I do think the Lakers find a way to get Game 4 tonight. So I think we avoid that catastrophe. But this has happened really fast. And we'll get into the basketball. But one interesting note I want to point out real fast. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is set for June 1st. It's not moving earlier. So if we do get 2 conference sweeps or close to it, we're going to be chilling for like a week without basketball. So prepare yourselves now for that. That will be very interesting. Just the way they schedule it. I'm sure it has something to do with the arenas. It's got something to do with the NHL playoffs. I'm sure there's any number of contingencies that go into something like this. And one other point I'll say, and then we can get into this discourse. We're gonna talk on this show what happened to the Lakers, what happened to the Celtics, and those are all legitimate questions. They're all really interesting topics, but I feel like we owe the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat first wow, you guys are amazing, because they're getting lost in all this talk about the Celtics. Oh, what's happening? The Lakers. Oh, LeBron. No, why can't you hit a 3? Again, those are fine questions. But Johnny, let's start with the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat because they have been just tremendous.
Aaron, you would think everyone on Twitter is a television executive by the number of cries I've seen. Oh, the ratings.
Oh,
what will we do about the ratings?
Johnny, I have a theory on that.
You're a random man in California or Boston. Chill the crap out about the ratings. It doesn't matter to you. And I'll also tell you this. The rest of the country is thrilled.
Yeah, Johnny, I've got a theory on that.
For Lakers fan.
I've got a theory on that. We're getting a Denver Nuggets,
theory.
Miami Heat finals. And like Johnny said, you're going to hear a lot of people, oh, why isn't it Celtics Lakers? That would have been so much better. The fight for ring 18. Oh, why isn't it Miami Heat, LA Lakers rematch of the finals in the bubble? Those people are basketball storyline fans. There's a difference.
Yep.
And if that's you, that's okay. I get it. The NBA is dramatic.
No, it's not.
Storylines are fun.
Nope.
It's okay. But
You're allowed.
But there are a ton of basketball fans who are ecstatic to see Nikola Jokic in an NBA Finals with Jamal Murray playing as the electric scorer that he is, and playoff Jimmy in the finals. This historic run with Eric Spoelstra, the league's best coach right now. Basketball fans, us basketball fans, we're thrilled. So basketball storyline fans, if that's you and you really want Lakers Celtics, go to Cancun, man. Go to Cancun because that's where they're playing.
Yeah,
Go talk to LeBron. Good, tell him to tell him.
No, it's Denver. Let's just not overanalyze it. Denver's just the better team.
Yeah.
Denver this year is the best basketball team in the world. They are. And I know we haven't played the finals, and man, can I not wait to see Jimmy Butler and those guys go up against the Nuggets. They're going to give them hell. But the Denver Nuggets are the best team. And let's just look at it practically. Jamal Murray, prime. Porter Jr. figuring it out in his prime. Nikola Jokic, prime. Aaron Gordon, still very, very young. I mean, he's still young and he's still bouncing around. Bruce Bowen has been fantastic. KCP has been outstanding. Like, their role players have been out of this world. Jokic even got into foul trouble in game 3, and it didn't matter. Whenever Jokic or Murray has had a little bit of an off moment, the role players and the other star pick it up. Jamal Murray carried that first half yesterday until Jokic could get back into the game, and then he could start dissecting that Lakers defense like he has been with his outstanding passing the entire series. And credit to the role players. They're hitting their shots. Denver is a lot younger, which also means that they can play outstanding offensive players who have the energy and length to play good defense, where the Lakers have to choose one or the other when they're out on the court. They have to go almost all in on the offense, or they have to come back to earth and play good defense with who they're putting in. Like, you're putting in Dennis Schroeder for your offense, or you're putting in Vanderbilt for your defense. You can't really have both of them out there.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, as much as I love D'Angelo Russell, he's been awful in this series. And LeBron's just, he is 38, guys. He's 38. So you have a lot of the Lakers. I really don't think have actually even played that poorly. I really don't. We're going to talk about the Celtics and Heat in a moment. I think there's far more shame and embarrassment that should be laid upon Boston than the Lakers. The Lakers, all 3 games have been close. They've all been close. They've all been very entertaining games. I mean, I've enjoyed watching Miami kick Boston's butt too, but that's because I'm a hater. All 3 have been good games, decent games in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers look their age. They just look their age. They're playing well. They just can't seem to hit those opportune shots in the biggest moments, and Denver is. And sometimes it's that simple. Look at the age. I mean, it feels like the start players out there that matter most it's almost like a 10-year age gap right now. And in LeBron's case, more. So I think it's a lot more to do with the Nuggets than the Lakers in this series. I really do. Like, I'm more in awe of the Nuggets than I'm shaking my head at the Lakers. Mm-hmm. If that I'm not seeing tons of mistakes from the Lakers. And if they are making those mistakes, it's because they're being forced to. They have to make something happen because their defense somehow is perfect. And Jokic still drains one of those insane threes over AD's hand, and he's playing perfect defense, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. It's
not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of hustle. They're just better. And sometimes it's that simple.
Yeah. Johnny, I completely agree. The pace that Denver's been able to play at has been notable. The Lakers, and they've said this on just about every broadcast, the Lakers' half-court defense in this playoffs, probably excluding this series, has been really good. But transition defense, not so good. And the Nuggets are taking full advantage of that. I do think the Lakers, again, I think they find a way to get game 4. But can I just spare us LeBron got swept, what a stain on his legacy. You know who got swept in this final playoff series that no one ever remembers? Kobe. In year 17, Kobe got swept. Year 20, the fact that LeBron's even here is remarkable. And no, he's not been great. I'm not saying he's not without blame this series, but I know we're going to have this conversation, and by us, I mean kind of the national narrative, the Twitter users, whatever, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not worth talking about. It's worth more. Like, Jokic is the best player on the planet. Mm-hmm. He is. I think it's obvious.
And the caveat also is LeBron's not playing well by his standards.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's also the caveat.
Yeah, 25 points, 8 rebounds. Come on, man. What are you doing? Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Hate to have that on my team.
What is it? He's played like 3.5 full seasons just in the playoffs. Like,
right.
It's unbelievable. Miami.
Which is why even age 38 truly is not even fully encapsulating what this man has done.
Yeah, truly. Miami Heat on the other side in the East. Yes, I think there's probably more blame on the Celtics compared to the Lakers, but the Miami Heat have been equally amazing. Johnny, you talked about the list of players, role players even, on the Nuggets that have stepped up. The same has been true for Miami. Think about Gabe Vincent was tremendous last night in Game 3. Max Strus has been incredible at times. I give so much credit to Duncan Robinson, who was basically benched for the majority of this season after his significant minutes in the 2020 playoff run, but was out of the rotation. You get a couple of injuries with Victor Oladipo out, with Tyler Hero out, and he comes in and just is shooting the lights out. He actually passed LeBron for the most playoff threes in a Miami Heat uniform. So shout out to Duncan Robinson.
That's crazy.
The Heat culture, I know we've talked about it the last couple weeks. It just takes a level up every time we get on this show. It's unbelievable. Eric Spoelstra is a genius. Pat Riley is a genius. Jimmy Butler is amazing. I love him. The trash talk here's the irony of this, right? Jason Tatum made this big deal about, I'm trying to model my game after Kobe. Like, everything I do, like, with Kobe in mind. Hey, good for you. That's a good person to try and look up to and achieve the things that he did on the basketball court. But the irony is, the guy that you're playing in Jimmy Butler is a way better representation of Kobe Bryant than you. And even to a certain extent, Michael Jordan, not necessarily, but the trash talk and the sheer competitiveness. If you haven't, find an article or something that outlines what Jimmy Butler does in the off season. It's insane. This man is insane. He's crazy. I love him so much. And I love him so much. He's incredible. He's been so good. So I'm absolutely, and we're already projecting Heat Nuggets because teams that go up 3-0 in a series are 149-0 in that series. It has never happened. Now, there had never been a 16 seed beating a 1, so that's happened a couple times now. But this is different. This is different, and it's not going to happen. Certainly the Celtics will not. The Celtics completely folded in Game 3. You can say what you want, Celtics fans, like, oh, we need a new coach. We need this. We need that. Look, if you want Doc Rivers on your sideline, by all means, go ahead, because you're going to get even more of this. At the end of the day, it's got to be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown stepping up, not only in their play on the court, which was abysmal in Game 3, but in their leadership, which was non-existent. Al Horford was doing his best to, by the way, Al Horford, 2 years older than his coach, Joe Mazzulla, was doing his best to inspire his team, and he was met with silence and a lack of effort. That's got to change. As good as Jimmy Butler is, as far as energy and his play on the court, the opposite has been true of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which is a bummer because I really like these players. I'm liking them a little less based on what I'm seeing in this series, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's got to start with them. It just has to. And it's too late now. Game 3 was an elimination game because of that stat I just gave you, and it was a no-show from Boston. So that's kind of the playoff series. We'll talk more NBA Finals next week, the week after, because again, assuming these series get wrapped up in relatively short order, we're going to have a lot of time to just talk about it before Game 1 actually starts. Yeah. But the NBA...
Blow up that Celtics team. Blow it up. Blow it up.
I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet, but the fact that the Heat have run through the Bucks and the Heat, who are 1-2 in NBA record, and they're going to get a shot at the Nuggets, Like this, if the Heat pull this off in the championship, this will be the greatest playoff run ever. And it's probably not even close. Ever. An 8 seed? Are you kidding me? Who barely made it through the play-in tournament? Like they almost lost to Chicago. Oh.
They were down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. All right. So
there's your story, people.
Yeah, there you go.
Build the well, did you see the tweet? They said Adam Silver has something to do, has the opportunity to do the most evil thing in the history of the NBA, like, and make the Celtics and Lakers both, like, overcome that 3-0 lead.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, guys, I would bet every dime I have that the Lakers have a better chance of at least getting one game out of this than the Celtics.
Sure.
Like, there's been no quit in the Lakers. When's the last time you saw a playoff team quit in game 3 in the third quarter?
In the conference
they gave
finals.
up in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I really don't. I've seen teams get blown out. I don't think I've seen them quit at this point in the season. That was honestly shameful.
It was so bad that the Celtics didn't even bother playing anybody in the fourth quarter. They mailed it in. The beginning of the fourth quarter, like, yeah, okay, sometimes there's blowouts. You'll see it later into the fourth. Beginning of the fourth quarter, they mailed it in because that third quarter, you're right, was so abysmal. So that's the NBA conference finals. We move over to the NHL, which is also, as of right now, both the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights are up 2-0 in their respective series, but it's slightly deceiving because every single game has gone to overtime. Josh, we thought that the last round was the heartbreaker because you were trying to decide between the Stars and Kraken, but maybe it's turning out to be this one because of how close the Stars have been, but just can't quite find a way.
Yeah, this has been a very different type of postseason. Again, I think I mentioned last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, the current Stars coach, he is undefeated in playoff series, not games, just series. But still, it's significant. I think he's now 7 or 8-0 postseason for his series. That being said, the Stars are 0-4 this postseason when it comes to overtime games.
Oh, wow.
They have not closed it. I believe it was, who said this? Someone said that. Hold on. I had a quote, and it was a good quote. Here we go. Yeah. DeBoer, in an interview on Monday. So, yeah, I guess not yesterday. Oh, no, today. This is why when you record and then the podcast comes out. So for you guys,
time doesn't exist on this show.
Today.
For
time
us,
doesn't exist. If you're listening to these things and you want up-to-date information,
go somewhere else.
please.
Call me.
Don't put that. Don't. Also, don't.
Or follow us on Twitter. But
if I get a random call from some random like number that I don't have in my, even if you are in my phone, I'm not picking up.
Call our voicemail.
That's not what my phone is for. I fill my voice. Listen, I fill my voicemail on purpose. If it's important, text me. Something's on fire, text me. Fire.
Just fire emojis. Yeah.
Just the emoji. Just the fire emojis. 4 fire emojis means something is on fire. 3 fire emojis means less on fire.
You're on fire.
I'm on fire. Yes, not me. DeBoer on Monday talked about how his team seems to have great first and third. They seem to be great every other period this past playoff postseason. Great first and third quarters. Goodness, this is going to be a fun
time doesn't exist, so you can say whatever time you want, and it doesn't matter.
It's totally because I'm
first and third halves.
First and third quarters.
Yep.
The first and third periods are usually a pretty strong showing. The front line has gotten good, has been getting better. Their lead regular season scorer, Jason Robertson, ended his kind of postseason slump in Vegas during game 1. So he is back to scoring a little bit. Not fully back, but he is getting back there. So their front line's doing okay. Their defense is okay. Their goalie, Mr. Otter, he's doing fine. I would say better than he was in the Kraken series. So there is marked improvements. But DeBoer noticed, and he told NHL as much, or the interviewers as much. Like, we are inconsistent. We are like an every other period type of team. And what that's functioning, like what that's doing in the postseason, is it's making them slightly out of it for whatever reason when it comes to these overtimes. Now, that being said, and this frustrates me to say this because I'm very disappointed to hear it, because they're an expansion team who have barely been around longer than, people in Vegas have realized that they do in fact have a hockey team. But they're playing like a veteran team here.
Yeah.
They're making the plays, they're making the moves, and they're not making big dumb mistakes like Sutter did when he had a turnover and lost against of Las Vegas forward. I'm not going to even pronounce this name. On what ended up being the game-tying goal that sent them into overtime. The Stars were up 2-1 game 2 until the final 2 minutes, and then, of course, as we've seen, can't close in overtime.
Yeah.
And so it's both teams are playing top-level hockey. This is not a Mark Cuban had a really good rant a few years ago where it was one of the Mavs. It may have been back when Dirk was still on. And one of their playoff series went a little messy, and they were kind of in the middle of that. And Cuban was asked, "Hey, do you think the other team just kind of wanted it more?" And he's like, "That's words I can't say on this family-friendly show." He's like, "Of course, both teams want it. These guys are playing their absolute hearts out. Like, this is the highest level of the sport in the world. These are the percentage we've told you guys about the percentages of how few people within their respective sports make it to this area and then make it to the postseason and then actually do successfully in this postseason. Like, this is the cream of the crop. So this is not the Vegas, the Golden Knights won it more. That's not the case here. What is the case is they're not making as many dumb mistakes, and they're more consistent, and frankly, they're deeper right now.
Yeah. And they were also the number 1 team overall in the West for a reason, right?
They also, they've earned their slot. They're playing like veterans. I believe they are. I had another stat here for you nerds. Vegas is 3-0 in overtime, 4-0 in 1-goal games, and 7-3 when allowing the first goal in a game. That's
crazy.
So this is a team that knows. That is experienced and settled in these types of experiences. Frankly, there seems to be a slight unsettlingness that comes with Dallas. Dallas has the chops to make it here. They've earned their slot. They've earned their spot here. But the defense has glaring holes, and the offense is just not putting shots on goal like they should. And what that's doing is they're not bad, but they're not pushing, and they're not executing as successfully as they could. Now, they're going to be at home tomorrow night or yesterday night if you're listening to this and on Wednesday. Time doesn't matter. They're going to play Tuesday night. They're playing at Dallas. This is going to sound weird, but American Airlines just put in a very cool new projection thing.
Ooh.
And they're going to launch it. They're launching it Tuesday night. So on a projection show, listen, this is going to sound dumb to people who haven't been to sports venues. Home team advantage matters. Every little bit of excitement you can draw from that crowd, every little bit of, every just little bit of excitement you can pull, that matters. Now, I don't believe home court advantage, home ice advantage has really mattered this postseason overall, but superstitious in us goes, you never know.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and again, this is coming from someone who's just decided when they beat the Kraken that I think I'll be happy this time, because also I realized this. I don't want 2 expansion teams playing before the Blue Jackets get here.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay. They deserve it. We don't.
I know that. I don't want the Blue Jackets to just be given an Eastern Conference championship. But please
give us
guys,
one.
Please give us one. But if you don't mind, if there is a hockey
there are
game.
any extras.
I will say, Miami, not only do they have the heat, not only are they experiencing the greatest NBA playoff run there, They also have the Panthers, who are doing the exact same thing. They were they are essentially the 8th seed in the East, and they won game 1 in 4 overtimes, which is basically 2 in a third game, and it almost went into a 5th overtime. The goal was scored with like less than a minute left in overtime 4. Game 2, they hey, we just really like playing hockey. Let's do it again. Now, they didn't go to 4 overtimes, but they've played basically the equivalent of 4 games in 2 games, and the Panthers are up 2-0, and they are heading to Paradise, Florida. So they are feeling pretty good in Miami.
Good. And I know it's the opposite side of the states, but man, even Tampa. Can we just Florida stop it? I guess you guys have Miami, so good old college football. So y'all have the U. That's the balance
that's their
right
punishment
now.
Is Miami Hurricanes football.
Yes.
That was the trade.
That was the sacrifice. You want the yeah, God's like, you want the Rays good? Really? All right, I got to take away
That's how this works, guys. That's how this works.
The monkey's the claw curls on the monkey's hand.
Yeah.
If I ever did a PhD, which I never will, Lord will.
Oh, I want that. I want that on.
It would be on.
I'm so glad that's on the podcast.
It would be on this. It would be on the fact that within your state, you can only have so many good teams at one time, from professional to collegiate athletics. You're only allowed so many. And I need to do the math.
Who's most,
there's always a sacrifice.
Do you know who's most qualified to do that? It's you.
I know, and I'll never do it. So I'm sorry, everyone.
Statistics.
It'll never happen.
PhD in sportsology.
Yeah, that's too bad. I'm the only one, and I'm going to deprive the world of that because I hate school that much.
You can listen. There are guys in.
Why do you think the Browns are so bad? The Buckeyes have been siphoning off of them forever.
True.
Forever.
This is a theory that you need published. There are guys genuinely, I don't mean to pull us off of this tangent into my own tangent, but guys, there are philosophers. There was a philosopher back in like the 80s, and he was going to lose tenure if he didn't publish something. He's like, I don't want to write anything. I just want to teach, but I'm going to lose my tenure. So fine, I'll write something. He wrote a 3-page paper on epistemology.
How dare a teacher just want to teach?
And you know what he did? He upended 2,000 years of how people thought about thinking and thought about knowledge in 3 pages because he didn't want to lose tenure.
Wow.
Like we're still like my professor had us read this paper and go, this guy just wanted to not. He was there so he didn't get fined, and he just ruins everybody's day. So Johnny, just write up just the next article you put out. I want it to be on the Fifth of Goal Sports website. Please put out the definitive, whatever you call it, make it sound scientific. Like, the maximal,
no scientific.
The maximal,
I'm going to make it sound like conspiratorial, not scientific.
Conspiratorial. Why the government only allows
we don't
3 good
use
sports
science
first dates
on this show. We use conspiracy, conjecture, and
yelling.
Good feelings.
I like yelling. Yelling's my vote. Speaking of yelling, you guys know what time it is? Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Let's go. All right. This is easy for me to say with some hindsight, but I hope you all saw what ESPN Analytics dared to put out before the Celtics Heat series. I don't know if they are rooting for the Miami Heat and they just wanted to give Miami a little bit of extra juice. Their analytics team said that the Miami Heat had a 2% chance to win this series, which is just insane. Any person with a brain could have told you that's idiotic. And clearly, here we are 3 up. They were even like 20-some% up 2-0, winning both games on the road. So ESPN, whatever you are feeding that analytics machine, you know the scene in Parks and Rec where Ron takes his computer and throws it in the dumpster? You should do the same, because that is garbage. And this is coming from the resident stats nerd who literally his side job is taking sports stats for teams. So there you go. Throw it away.
Aaron, is it still like 50-50?
It's probably something stupid.
I believe it. It's still somehow 50-50.
Dumb. I love analytics. I think there's a great place for them in sports, but that was the worst. That was the worst. So straight to jail, ESPN Analytics, and ESPN, you're not off the hook just yet. I'm putting you in jail a second time because over the course of history,
there is double jeopardy on
there
our
is
podcast.
yes, double jail. You get double jail, ESPN. Over the course of human history and really the last 15 years, ESPN has had some really good theme songs. What do I mean? I mean their college football theme song from like 2005 to 2010, 2011. The years are a bit fuzzy,
Old
but
championship series.
yes, the BCS music, the just general college football theme song is unmatched. It's perfect. It feels like college football. It sounds like college football. The nostalgia is just insane. And then when the playoff came, and I know why, I kind of get why you did this. ESPN's like, well, the playoffs here, we got to do something different, and we got to have a lot of trumpets, and we got to make it sound like the NFL. And you ruined it. You ruined it. The BCS music, the normal college football, I don't know if a more perfect song existed, a more perfect theme. And this isn't the only sport they've done that with. The NBA on ESPN had a great theme song. They threw it away without any reasoning whatsoever. And now it's this very lame theme. No offense to the person that wrote it, but not good. College basketball, the same thing. That original college basketball theme with like the wooden like planks like sliding through and all that weird, animations that they did. The theme was perfect. It was amazing. You knew what you were expecting. Like you're like, oh, I'm going to watch Duke UNC with, Jay Billis or whatever. It was perfect. And then they kind of had this so-so theme. So obviously, future editing Aaron has helped me out here and has put bits and pieces of those themes here, so you know what I'm talking about, and it doesn't sound like the ramblings of a lunatic. But we're also going to do a Twitter poll before Elon removes the ability of us to have a Twitter poll. And I want to see if I'm the only one that feels this way, or if you as a collective audience, listening audience, also feels the same way. Am I insane, or was the old music really that much better? I know there's some nostalgia and some bias on my side. I just think it was so much better. I mean, think about it. The college basketball March Madness theme song has been the same largely for a few decades. And the moment you hear that song, you get amped because you know exactly what it is. The CBS NFL song has been around for forever. The Fox NFL song has been around for forever. Even ESPN's Monday Night Football has been around for forever. Why ruin a good thing? Why change it? Change it back. You have time. ESPN, do the right thing, even though I know you won't. Double jail for ESPN.
All right. I also have a double jail today, but it's not for the same person. It's two different stories, and I'll hit on them quick. First off, I am sending, it's, guys, it's wedding season, right? Josh, your brother just had a wedding. We're going to a wedding together in 2 weeks. We're all traveling for weddings in the coming months, right?
Yeah.
So weddings are expensive. Now, I've never been married, but I've been a part of many weddings. I've seen all of what goes into it. That's no surprise to anyone. They're expensive. So you're trying to cut costs wherever you can. Some people will just go buy the cake at Costco, which, hey, those cakes are amazing. So don't hate on those cakes. Or, so you do something for the flowers, or you just try to have a small wedding and, a more scaled down venue just to save some money. We're not all rich. This woman was brilliant, by the way, was getting hate because this budget. So I'll just read the title for you. Budget savvy bride sparks a furious debate after revealing she got Chili's to cater her wedding for just $20 per guest. She got hate for it. She should be celebrated. $20 a person. You're like, wow, that's actually still kind of expensive. Yes, weddings are crazy expensive. Aaron, you know this. $20 a person's pretty dang good. Also, Chili's. I'd go to that wedding. Are you kidding me?
I go to that wedding.
Most of the time, wedding food's good, but I've also had a few duds. And knowing that it's Chili's, I'd be kind of excited. Mm-hmm. That sounds great. Do we each get a bag of chips like I do in my takeout for Chili's to go? I'm all in on this. Those of you hating on this bride for being one, budget savvy, but also having good and excellent taste. Jail.
You
Jail
understand
Chili's
how
is great.
expensive
I love
per
Chili's.
plate it can be? You can get $100 per plate for some basically Chili's food. Catering,
Yeah.
it is
Yep.
so hard to make catering
Mhm.
like high class and like worth the price you're gonna pay.
Yeah. Josh,
I'm
some of
not
those
gonna
people
say-
wouldn't have been invited. They probably weren't
Exactly.
invited
Exactly.
if you get food
And you're
from
gonna tell me
somewhere
you're
else.
gonna cut the cost by a fifth, and it's Chili's. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Chili's is what I would serve, the president if he came to my house.
Which he never
Um,
will. Get rid of your China cabinets, everyone.
Just what if he does though? He might. But my goodness, if anyone's angry at going to a wedding and getting catered Chili's, please let me know so I don't have to invite you.
You go
Or
to a
you know what I-
special section of jail, the ungrateful part of
The
jail.
ungrateful
and it's
jail.
worse.
It's a free party. It's a free party. I'm not even gonna make you get me a gift. Come watch me get married and smile at my wife, and then you get free cake and free Chili's, and then
Yeah.
leave. Maybe just slip me a 20. All right.
Otherwise, you
that's
just
it.
don't even get invited. So
Just don't even bother coming.
you wouldn't have even been able to go to the wedding.
Exactly.
So,
Listen, guys, I want a taco truck at my wedding. Like,
Oh,
I just
oh
want
yes. See,
right?
again, that is
Like
economical
there's
and
a-
still sounds incredible.
There's a lovely taco place right by my apartment. Tacos La Banqueta. $1.50 a taco. They're fantastic. It's
That
meat,
sounds awesome.
cilantro, onions. You get a little bit of that birthday sauce.
$1.50.
$1.50 a taco. They're fantastic.
Oh,
Take $20. Try and eat $20 worth of those tacos and tell me that that's not a great deal.
Yeah.
Ugh.
that sounds awesome.
Not to take over
Okay.
your straight to jail, but
No,
yeah, that's a side.
it's all right,
I will
Josh.
help. I will help you throw that person in jail.
All right, next, real quick. If you read the story that was getting widely reported on late last week, it might have dropped this weekend, actually. And if you are in the Midwest or you're a Big Ten fan, you probably read this, you heard about it. Kevin Warren sucks and needs to be thrown in jail. So sorry about all you Chicago Bears fans. Like, we all were thrilled when we lost him and knew we were going to get another president. He was terrible. He's indecisive. There was no leadership, and it's being proven right now. The new commissioner for the Big Ten Conference is having to clean up his mess in the media rights deal. This celebrated media rights deal that everyone's like, look how great Kevin Warren is. Like, he's awesome. He got UCLA and USC in the conference, and now he signs a $1 billion television rights deal. Look at what he can do. First off, USC and UCLA asked the Big Ten. If he would have said no, he would have been fired on the spot and exiled out of the Midwest forever if you say no to that. Second off, again, these television companies are desperate for these games. They're desperate because not a lot on cable sells anymore.
Well,
they need
desperate for
live
Big Ten
sports.
football. There's other conferences that I can talk
Well,
about here in a second.
sure.
But yes.
Sure. And specifically Ohio State,
There
Michigan
you
State,
go.
Penn State,
Yep.
Michigan, Wisconsin, and again, the California schools, which we're getting. He gave away the rights to a Big Ten championship game to NBC without authorization to do so. Fox owns all of the rights to that, and he gave it away without talking to them. The Big Ten is going to owe over $40 million back to Fox because of this, or they're going to have a problem with NBC and owe them a bunch of money. So there's potential to be returning a lot of money. The Big Ten in the past has not really liked doing a lot of November night games. One, because of the weather, and two, because they say, hey, like, as the semester ramps up, like, that's not great for the student athletes. We don't really want to do that. We'd like to play more of our games earlier. You've seen recently announced Ohio State hosting Michigan State in November at night. Penn State is going to be hosting, I believe, Michigan State again, Black Friday at night. Basically, Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State have played ball and said, hey, can we help you not lose this money for like in some of these contract issues? Kevin Warren literally left a pile of crap to be picked up and put back together. He did a terrible job as commissioner. There's just some landmark things that happened to be during his time as commissioner, but any commissioner would have gotten those things done. He was not a significant role in any of them. Chicago Bears fans, I am sorry because, and hopefully he's just not going to be the one making all of those decisions, but he probably will be. So best of luck, Chicago Bears, because your president of operations jail. He's in jail because he left the Big Ten hanging and doesn't understand really how contracts even work.
Josh, before you give your straight to jail,
Go for it.
it's not a straight to jail, but it's relevant to the conversation. The Pac-12 is currently trying their hand at a media deal, and because USC and UCLA have wandered over to the Midwest somehow, still don't know how.
They're part of the Midwest now, Aaron.
Yeah,
Part of it.
always have been.
Geography has been changed.
Yeah, geography
over the
and
bush
time,
light.
none of those things exist on this show.
No.
The Pac-12 is desperately seeking someone that will televise their games. ESPN has been kind of maybe, but they're pretty committed with the TV deals they have already. With the SEC and ACC as far as college sports being that kind of big lump sum that ESPN is giving.
Yeah.
The CW
Yes.
is emerging as a potential option. I'm not even kidding. The
Yes.
CW is emerging as a potential spot for Pac-12 football.
Pac-12 after
Apparently,
dark on the
I thought
CW.
Pac-12 network
Pac-12
was
after
about
Flash.
as bad as we could
Yes.
get. The CW will give the Pac-12 regional coverage only west of the Rockies for $14 million per team.
No.
But that will eliminate ESPN's offer. So that's
wow.
also not great because the Pac-12 doesn't really want to go to the CW, I don't think. But
gotta
they also
watch.
would probably
I wanna
prefer to go to ESPN. But they also, it's a mess. So
That's perfect. Though.
yeah, I
Pac-12 after
agree,
dark?
Johnny. The fact that it's only west of the Rockies is brutal.
Otherwise, it'd be
Pac-12, how you're moving from a network where people couldn't watch your games to another network where people
And
can't
they
watch
owe
your
them
games?
money, by the way.
Yes, correct.
They owe DirecTV money. Or is
It's-
it Dish? They owe one of them.
It's
money.
Dish because
Aaron.
my parents have DirecTV. Anyways, sorry not to. That's a whole different tangent. But
Aaron
Yes.
and Johnny, do you know what this means?
tell us.
We got to
This is
move to the
exactly what it
Rockies
means.
for Pac-12 after
means-
dark, but it's not after dark anymore.
Pac-12
Sorry,
after
Josh.
dark? No. So my joke was Pac-12 after Flash. Or, do you know what other big? That's actually I really like that.
Pac-12 after
Do you know what else?
Riverdale.
Exactly.
Whose line is it
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Can you imagine watching a show about a bunch of high school kids
Oh.
who are fighting demons or whatever they're doing now in season 4, and then you watch a show about the highs and lows of high school football, and then you watch. Got so excited and knocked over my mic. Then you watch
Arizona versus
Pac-12 game?
Washington State.
or
No,
Arizona
that's
versus
the
like
depths of
SMU because I saw that
depravity.
Pac-12 was trying to woo SMU, so it could be local.
True,
Could be
Josh,
local for me.
If they're on the CW, only Rockies West after Riverdale, you fold it up, man, and you go home. No, you
That's-
can't go to the Big 12 anymore.
Even
Big
the
10
Sun
will
Belt
not
has
come
more.
save
The Sun
you.
Belt has more
You're
pride
done.
than that.
Pack it up, go home. You're no longer allowed to even play.
The
No,
Mac would
it's
never take
over.
that deal.
It's over. The Mac has a better deal than that.
The Mac has a great deal. Better branding, yeah.
Oh,
I watch.
go ahead, Josh.
I'll watch Maction every single night over
Amen.
Arizona State, Washington State. Like, sorry. to
I
both of
mean,
those
I'll watch it
teams.
all, but Maction rules.
Yes, Maction is so freaking good, and I want only student like announcers. I don't want anyone professional. Well, you can be like a journalism major, but like a broadcasting major. You know, don't. I want freaking 21-year-olds up there, please. Thank you. Straight to jail every Starbucks. We're gonna make this quick. This
Okay.
is how bad it's gotten. Now, specifically, why Starbucks? I'm glad you asked. What's the stereotype about Starbucks? You guys both have pretty normal names, although you both have variations in your spelling of names. Johnny specifically, you're very adamant about the lack of H in your name.
There's no H.
There's no H in Jonathan. Well,
there is.
there's only one. But there's a guy on TikTok, a little group of guys on TikTok, and they basically have set betting lines for what Starbucks will spell their name as.
I can get in on that.
Oh, I like this.
So this one was real great. So like for example, they started with Dylan. Now, how would you spell Dylan?
I'm going to go Dylan, knowing that that's probably incorrect if we're betting on this, but that's one.
I was going to go Dillon.
Dillon. Okay,
Yeah.
so you both chose the most popular options. Aaron, I would have chosen you.
Yeah.
They put that at negative 200 or
Okay.
minus 200. Johnny, your spelling Dillon was plus 125. Here's what
Sounds about where I'd like to bet.
here's what the guy ended up putting. Dillan.
Oh
Okay.
no!
It's
so
which
close.
they-
It's uncomfortable,
put
but I
it-
get it.
Which they put it plus 650.
Oh.
Which is fair. Yeah. Here's the one that got me. I think it's this one. Hold on, I lost it. This one is on like it's gonna 100%. No, not Zach. Aiden. Yes, it was
Oh,
Aiden.
no.
So they're also doing this for fun, but man, this made me angry. How would you spell Aiden? Aiden. Hey, my name's Aiden. I'd like a coffee, thank you.
I'm going to try to guess it the way they spelled it, because I would spell Aiden probably Aiden, but
Okay,
I'm going to
you
go Aydon just for kicks and
Okay.
giggles.
Aydon. Okay. So your first pick was plus 210.
Okay.
Johnny.
I like this.
Ugh. I want to guess it right. Aaron, what was yours again?
I went Aydon.
For Aiden.
Not the way I would spell it, the way I think Starbucks may have spelled it.
Aden.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, plus 425 for that one. How about Adan, which is what they
Oh
actually
no!
I would.
You were close, Johnny. You were close.
which is no except
Oh,
I
jeez.
don't want to. If your name is Aiden and you spell it Adan, no judgment, but that's not how anyone has ever spelled Aiden. That's
No.
Aden,
True.
and that's not a real name. It wasn't even on their list. They had Aiden at plus 210,
So that's a
Aidan at
It's a
minus
push,
105. Exactly. Aydan at plus 250, Aden 425, and Aidean at plus 300. And Starbucks got none of them. Starbucks, this is why you have the app, is because no one can spell names. And I am part of that as a former employee. I guess I've always just said large Starbucks, a large coffee chain. What can it do? Sue me? They can. I used to work there. I was terrible at names too. Just scan
Josh,
your app.
the
That
meme,
way I don't have to
what
spell it.
What's he gonna do? Stab me? Quote
Stab
from
me?
Man Who Got Stabbed.
Man who got stabbed. They're
Yeah.
gonna do sue me.
Grant
Man in
Williams
court.
to Jimmy Butler in Game 2. Yeah,
So that's my straight to jail.
that's very good, Josh.
And so I'm sending myself to jail.
Yeah. All right.
That's very noble.
I
of
feel
you.
it is very noble. I feel like in the
I do
course
what
of
I
this
can.
show, you've probably earned a get out of jail free card, so it might be a good time to use that. I will say going back real fast, then we'll move into our next favorite segment of the show. The fact that the Pac-12 has this really bad deal, and the Big Ten, like you said, Johnny, their deal doesn't look as good as it did. You wonder if the Big Ten now has some extra motivation to try and grab maybe an Oregon or a Washington where maybe they were okay before. We're like, yeah, maybe, but now maybe it's more advantageous for both sides to get a deal done. I don't know. Stay tuned. I'm just saying that now because if there was going to be a time for that to happen, it would probably be now. So that's that. It is time, speaking of Pac-12, it's time for our picks of the week. Last week, we picked the NCAA softball tournament. We picked our winners. Josh, I've got some bad news for you, and it's on... Actually, you know what? It's not speaking of the Pac-12. Speaking of the Big Ten, UCLA, who was your pick, a good pick. I think they were like 2 or 3 overall, suffered, I think they were actually number 2 because they suffered a historic upset. They lost twice in the regionals, which means that they are out. It is tied for the highest seed ever eliminated before the super regionals. So sorry, Josh, for that. On my side, the Florida State Seminoles are having a great tournament so far. Florida State has moved into the super regionals, which is a best of 3 series against the Georgia Bulldogs. Partially because Catherine Sandercock threw a perfect game to clinch that. So congrats to Florida State.
Oh, congrats to them. Oh,
and their super regional series sold out in 60 seconds. So shout out to the people at Florida State for supporting their team. I'm pulling for my team that I selected. Johnny, I did little to no research on how your Tennessee Volunteers are doing, but I believe they're still in the tournament. So
they're still in. They made it.
Nice. So super regionals, and then again, those are best of 3 series. The winner moves on to the College World Series. We're sticking on a relatively similar sport, and we're picking some baseball this week. I realized in the show notes I could have actually had us pick the SEC tournament. That's what I meant to do, but totally forgot. So who cares? We're picking Major League Baseball. We are picking the Baltimore Orioles, who are boasting a 31-16 record. Let's go O's. And the Texas Rangers 29-17. So I'm picking the Rangers to win this series 2-1. Now, in that division, the Rangers have led the majority of this season so far. However, the Houston Astros are on their way to their usual spot in first. That's thanks in part, that's the phrase, to Jose Altuve, who is back from injury, just made his season debut this week. If you recall, he broke his wrist after getting hit by a pitch in the World Baseball Classic. So he's back. That's really sparked the Astros. They're really creeping up on the Rangers. So I'm going to say the Rangers, I believe they're at home. They take this series 2 games out of 3, despite the fact that the Baltimore Orioles are just debuted today, actually, their City Connect jerseys. Speaking of, get out of jail free to the Cincinnati Reds, who I know we dog a lot on this show. The Cincinnati Reds just casually threw out the best City Connect jerseys in the league. They're awesome. They're so sweet. So get out of jail free, Reds. Good for you. And they're not as bad as I thought they'd be. So that's good. But anyways, guys, I've got Rangers 2-1.
I love touching my mic for some reason. Sorry, editing Aaron. I love just punching it, apparently. I like the Rangers. I like the fact that they built a brand new stadium right next to their brand new stadium. That's really funny. I'm going to go with some friends to see one. They're playing a 3-game series against Houston late June, so we're going to go see that. So,
nice.
You know what? What the heck? They've been battling it out. And Texas has the ability. They've had some pretty strong winning streaks already this season. So you know what? 3-0.
Wow.
Let's have fun.
Nice.
Rangers sweep.
I am going Orioles 2-1 because you guys are all doubters. And I love that little bird logo.
Oh.
It's just such a great logo. It makes me smile every time I see that little bird smiling with the little baseball cap. And how can you not be happy for the Orioles?
Yeah.
You know, everybody probably thought last year was a flash in the pan, like, oh, good for the Orioles. They were kind of relevant, even though they didn't make the playoffs. They were in the hunt, and people cared most of the year. One, they're at home, which doesn't necessarily matter a ton in baseball, but it's got to matter for something. And I think the Orioles are probably here to stay. The Yankees are completely underachieving yet again. The Red Sox aren't awful, but they're not good enough to be a playoff team. And the Rays are going to dominate this division. So really the Orioles' main competitor at this point, if you want to think about it in this way, in my mind, the Rays kind of have the division. That's gone. They're fighting it out with the Yankees right now. Every game's going to be critical. Not that they both couldn't make the playoffs, of course, but I'm going with my heart, and I'm going with the Orioles. They drop a game, but they win the series 2-1.
Nice. Yeah, they've been just fantastic. The AL East, I believe their run differential, I think it's just a combination of all teams, is in the plus 200s, which is leaps and bounds above every other division. The AL Central, which I believe every team in the AL East is better than the AL Central right now.
Yeah,
it's like negative 200. The difference is just astonishing. So it's kind of crazy because you have the Twins that are playing about 500 baseball, even the Tigers in there. The Guardians are in the mix. That division's stupid bad, and the AL East is stupid good. So both will be intriguing as we go for very different reasons. And yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays have just been insane. They're hitting home runs like crazy. It's a lot of fun. So there's baseball. There's picks of the week. I didn't mention because there wasn't any progress on our scoreboard, but I'm still in the lead with 61. Johnny's got 56 points. Josh with 54, although it's worth pointing out that Johnny had the Denver Nuggets winning the West. So if things go well tonight or relatively soon, a point will be coming Johnny's way. So good job on that pick. We both picked, I think, Golden State, Josh and I. Or actually, Josh might have had the Grizzlies. Either way, it doesn't matter. We didn't get it right. So
teams that didn't even make it. Out of the first round, basically.
Yeah, first or second. So there we go. That's our picks of the week. It's now time for what we're following. This is where people are going to throw me straight into jail. And you know what? I'm here. I'll just accept it. I don't really like Taylor Swift. Like, not her as a person. I'm sure she's great. I just don't really like her music. Like, just not my thing. And I think it makes it worse because, Johnny, go ahead. Whatever. I think it makes it worse because her fans are insane. So,
no, that's
absolutely.
So that's part of that.
Yeah,
I think that rubs me the
unhinged.
wrong way a little bit. Yeah, like unhinged. I just don't get it. It's just not for me. Whatever. I'll let you live. You live your life. It's the same thing as I talked about the basketball storyline. People, whatever. But apparently there's a curse that Taylor Swift is giving to NBA teams because the place where she plays a show, she's on tour right now, obviously. I think probably everyone in the world knows that practically. The place where she goes and has a stop on her tour, plays a concert, their NBA basketball team just plummets, loses the series almost instantly. And I think she's been to LA already, so that was a little weird, but obviously LA is now in a free fall, so that kind of still applies. The one place that she has not been, because she is going to both Denver and I think Boston still, the one place she has not been is Miami. And I don't think Miami is even one of her tour stops. So you heard it here first, 2023 NBA champions, the Miami Heat, because Taylor Swift isn't going near them. So that's what I'm following. I am following the Taylor Swift curse.
Johnny, I don't 100% know if mine's going to make people angry, so I'll go last just in case. It's either going to be a glorious... It's going to be a glorious...
Mine makes people angry, but in a different way. So...
Ooh, let's go with yours. Let's go with yours, Johnny.
I mean, it won't make you guys angry. There might just be an audible sigh. We meant to talk about this last week, and I wanted to make sure we touched on it because there were some more details that came out this week as well. But the ACC, and also change this name, please. The Magnificent Seven of the ACC, meaning Clemson, Miami, Florida State, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech, which NC State and Virginia, congratulations for somehow freeloading your way onto this list. Like that's garbage. But these 7 schools really are carrying most of the weight in the ACC. The problem in the ACC is, you go to the Big Ten. Big Ten does have, some schools like Northwestern's that really, really tiny, probably doesn't give a lot athletically to the Big Ten. Rutgers is similar to that. You could claim Indiana can be dead weight at times, despite their basketball program. The problem in the ACC is that's almost half the conference. And so you have a lot of small private institutions with not a lot of big fan bases, and they're in a terrible contract for them going forward with the ESPN. That does not go out until, I think it's 2036. I have to check again. They're in this contract for a long time, and they're already getting completely overdone by the SEC and the Big Ten. So these 7 schools are hiring lawyers, trying to figure out, is there a way to get out of here? There's not really an out clause without having to pay over $100 million per school.
Jeez.
So that's a killer. So they're still trying to find ways out. Of course, the ACC is like, well, okay, even if we have this deal in place for a long time, if they're upset, this is not going to be good. So what does the ACC do? They're like, hey, let's look at what the Big 12 did in their model because that worked, right? What did they do? What did the Big 12 do? They allowed Texas to walk all over the entire conference. Instead of a Big 12 network, they got to make their own Longhorn network. They started not sharing the revenue the exact same.
Yep.
And equal revenue share. You know, as crazy as it might seem, Alabama gets the same revenue share as Vandy in the SEC. Ohio State gets the same revenue share as Maryland and Minnesota in the Big Ten. And while that might not seem fair for the good of the conference, that's truly necessary. That's part of what blew up that Big 12. The ACC is not learning that lesson, and they're willing to do it again. Now, there's one thing if you're going to pay a school more for having a great season. It's another to be paying a school based on what they bring eyeball-wise to the television market. If you were going to reward schools for having an outstanding season, well, that's great. Wake Forest would have made some cash the last few years. That's wonderful. That would be somewhat okay. While not perfect, it's a better system than just based on television revenue. All this is going to do is further the divide between the haves and have-nots in the ACC. It's going to implode eventually. We all have seen the graphics, potentially like North Carolina and Virginia come into the Big Ten, the SEC going in and get Florida State and Clemson. Maybe the Big 12 scoops in. Maybe some of those schools even go back to the Big East, like Boston College and Syracuse. There's a lot of things. I think this is eventually what happens, and it blows up because they're not learning their lesson. And again, it's just going to take one school, and the domino will fall, and we're going to have another round. I mean, it's going to be like bait in the water, and the SEC and the Big Ten are just going to be ready to snap at that. So, watching the downfall of yet another conference, and maybe they exist at some level, but not at what they should be. And Duke is one of those premier schools that's going to be left in the dust without a home, most likely.
Yeah. College football in 2023, 2024 is a wild place.
Absolutely insane. Guys, sauce.
I'm interested.
Cool.
We all
like
use
sauce.
it. Sauce is good. Aaron, what's your go-to sauce? Like, say you have some fries, or like, for fries. Let's just start there. What's your go-to sauce for fries?
Yeah.
No judgment.
So the standard for me is just ketchup, like just pretty simple.
Okay.
But
Yeah, classic
the
American,
wild
we love
card
it.
that I would say is my favorite is you can actually buy Buffalo Wild Wings Parmesan garlic sauce. at
Yes,
the
you can.
store.
I have some in my fridge. It is
Same.
so good.
So probably that. I mean, ketchup is like, if I'm just trying to grab something quick, cheap, like if you're talking, what's your favorite between ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, relish, whatever. If it's relish, straight to jail. But
If you're dipping,
B-dubs.
if you're dipping your fries in relish, I'm gonna shoot you on sight. Like, how dare you?
So there you go. Hopefully that
awesome.
answers
Hey,
your question.
Those are good. No, those are really good. I like both of those options. Ketchup's always a classic, and man, when I realized they bottled that stuff,
Man.
game over.
Don't look
Game
at look at the
over.
ingredients. Don't look at how many calories
you
are
dare
in
look at the ingredients.
1 square centimeter. Just don't do it.
Yes. Yeah. Johnny, how about you? What's your go-to sauce for a nice fry? And again, this is a no judgment zone.
Ketchup, man. Just ketchup.
It's a classic
Like,
ketchup. We love that.
I'm a basic man. Ketchup is good. Ketchup is good.
Hey, I love that. I found, just as since you guys asked about me,
Sorry, Josh. What's your favorite sauce?
right, exactly. I'll wait until Johnny gets back because I think he'd be interested in this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked, Aaron. That is so kind of you to ask.
You're welcome.
I actually found the recipe for Cane's sauce.
No way.
So I will make my own Cane's sauce because I'm not gonna go out to Cane's and just ask for a bunch of little packs of it.
Right.
I'll make it myself. It's 99% like it's almost indistinguishable.
Dang.
Yeah.
You've made it already?
I make it I make it all the time. It's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Johnny, you're muted,
But-
by the way.
Josh, do you want to trade places and let me make you angry?
Go for it.
With my hot take, I
Give me
don't
your
like
hot take.
cane sauce.
Wait, really?
Really?
I don't like cane sauce.
What
Interesting.
about it do you not like? That's interesting. But you
I
love
don't know.
canes. Wait, you get canes?
Oh,
You just
yeah.
eat their chicken? You just eat their chicken? Like,
Yeah.
The chicken by
raw?
itself is good. I will say that, but it's better with cane
Oh,
sauce.
see, this is my different. Like the chicken, I would say the chicken by itself. I've had better chicken elsewhere. I'm
Well,
going.
yeah,
for the
You're
I've
also in
better
Dallas.
chicken
That feels
elsewhere.
cheating slightly, but yes.
I am cheating because I do have fried chicken places right by me. But
I've had better chicken, but like as far as like fast food goes,
oh yeah,
that's
oh
probably
sure.
the best chicken, like
Okay.
easily.
Well, you're wrong. It's straight
No,
to
Josh,
jail.
I don't like the sauce.
But
Hey, everybody likes going to Cane's with me because then they get my sauce.
That is true.
that is true. That is very fair. Well, Heinz is here to ruin all of our days, but also maybe make all of our days. Because they just released their own version of a Coke Freestyle machine
Oh, I saw
the-
this.
called the Heinz Remix Machine.
Mm.
Now, I don't have the full details, so I'm going to tell you probably incomplete information.
What?
But it's going to launch sometime early next year, or maybe even as soon as this fall for like a soft launch at movie theaters, sporting events, sporting arenas, all of this.
No, Josh,
You
by
will
soft
choose-
launch, is this like soft launching your like girlfriend or boyfriend on Instagram? So they'll only send us a picture of like a corner of
Exactly.
the machine.
They're gonna throw the machine in like the back of a dusty AMC and see if anyone looks at it. Exactly. But what you're gonna look at is you're gonna have a bunch of bases, your classic bases. They've listed 4 for me. I'm assuming there's gonna be a few more. Their 4 bases they know we will have will be ketchup, ranch, barbecue, and their 57 sauce because it's Heinz. I'm assuming they're going to have things like mustard and mayo, perhaps, as bases as well, because those are just good, and maybe a few others. Then you're going to have things like flavor enhancers. Flavor enhancers, and you can select the intensity of the amount you want. Flavors like jalapeno, smoky chipotle, buffalo, and mango. Again, we will probably get more flavors. They're just
Mango.
These are the 4, 4 of each
What?
that they've told us about
Mango
so
flavored
far.
ranch?
I hope not, Johnny. Johnny, for your sake, I hope not.
Someone wants mango flavored ranch.
Listen, we will do Mango Ranch. Once this launches, we will go and we will do a special Instagram live where I will fly up or you guys will come down.
Yeah.
And we're going to go take the Heinz Remix Machine and just have a nice sip of that Mango Ranch.
Oh.
So they've only launched these 4 like guaranteed flavors. I'm assuming like a Coke Freestyle Machine, there'll be like so many bases, so many. I mean, it's Heinz. They have and they own Kraft, or Kraft owns them, so they'll have access to all of their fun stuff. But it's also, and this is where maybe a slight straight to jail. The machines will, in fact, collect data on what sauces are used, and Heinz is not
I get
shy
it.
for making combinations. So you were all familiar with we're all familiar with Cranch. We're all familiar with Honey Racha. We're all familiar with Mayo Chup. You know. So what we're gonna see is
I'm a branch guy myself.
exactly. But wait. Oh yeah. Oh, barbecue ranch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's pretty much you're 2/3 of the way to Chick-fil-A sauce.
You're not wrong.
So,
Yeah.
so you could see how Lay's does their crazy like biscuits and gravy chips as like limited releases. You might see like honey mango ranch at your local supermarket because enough idiots like we did gaslit a massive company into thinking, guys. Oh, hold on. Actually, this is a good idea. Hold on, guys. Shut up. Listen to the podcast real quick. I put your headphones on. Don't let your parents listen.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do. You know how we gaslit Warner Brothers into re-releasing
Yes.
Morbius?
Yes.
When these launch, we're gonna find the most, and it might be Mango Ranch, but let's see what the most cursed combination can be, and we need to order so much of it at these stores that Heinz is like, well, obviously everyone wants, sweet honey mayo ranch or whatever we end up doing.
They are loving that honey relish.
They're honey relish.
Mango
Exactly.
relish.
Mango. Okay, I will tell you, like a little mango relish. There's
actually
like a
doesn't
Chipotle-
No, just no.
Watch this, watch this. Johnny,
no.
Johnny, listen to me. There's this burger
No.
place, and I'm gonna take you to this burger place when you come down to Texas. They have a jalapeno jelly. Holy crap! It's some of the best stuff you've ever had in your life. It's so
No.
good. A little sweet and savory, Johnny. It's a palate expander. It's so good, Johnny. It's so good. Trust me, it's so good. That and the bacon jam they make. Holy crap! Yeah.
Okay, now that sounds incredible.
That's
Bacon
incredible.
jam.
Bacon jam. So, guys, we're gonna find the most cursed combination, and we were gonna make so much of it that Heinz feels forced to make a special release bottle of it, and then we don't buy the bottles.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Josh, you know why I like this idea? These machines remind me of a theory that a brilliant philosopher on this podcast ascribes to, and that is that you can never have too many things in one. This is not just a 2-in-1. This is like
you're right.
a 100-in-1 machine.
They say you can
do
make
all
up to two.
things.
That is. Thank you for reminding me. They say you can make up to 200 combinations from this machine.
Amen.
So, a 201 machine, that is right up Johnny's alley.
Yep.
It's so true.
And that is going against what, I got my haircut today and she's like, hey, like, they usually are like, hey, like your hair's thick, like it's nice. And I'm like, thank you. And she's like, it is, but like your hair's pretty dry. Like, do you use a conditioner? I'm like, I use a 2-in-1. And she's like, that's awful. Don't do that anymore. So, I know she's a professional. She knows what she's talking about, but I don't know.
It's because it's not enough products, Johnny. It's only 2. You need the other
That's
products
true,
that
Aaron.
also makes your hair not
It
dry.
also needs to be. Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you not also using the body wash?
Yeah, I'm using the
3-in-1.
2-in-1 when I should the 3-in-1, but Josh also the shaving cream. So 4-in-1. 4-in-1's really the minimum. Like the bare minimum is the 4-in-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shaving cream, the body wash, the shampoo, and the conditioner.
Yeah.
If you don't have those 4, throw it out.
Yeah.
And I hope you're doing that right as you're listening to this podcast.
These two.
Yeah.
Go to your bathroom, grab it, and throw it in the trash. Go buy a 4-in-1.
Order Mango Ranch, and throw out everything that does a specialized task. We are a combinations only type of podcast.
Yeah.
You must not have one thing by itself.
No.
Yeah.
And that's how I scramble my mind trying to multitask all day.
Don't be an expert in one thing. Be very, very okay at as many things as you possibly
Correct.
can.
Be as shallow of a person as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That Ron
If you
Swanson
got
quote
anything from this
reverses.
podcast, that's what we want you to get out of
Be
it.
extremely shallow.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
That's a great note to end on.
Isn't it?
Johnny.
We always find a way to just end on the most positive, uplifting thing. So here we are. We're doing it again. Listeners, thanks for listening. We hope you are having a great week, and hopefully this podcast helped bring some fun and randomness in your life here on whatever day that this podcast gets released. Usually it's Wednesdays, but not always. You know how it goes. But yeah, we really do appreciate you listening. We appreciate your support of the show. Again, as we've said throughout the show, you can find us on social media. We're on pretty much everywhere. So do that. We'll hang out with you over there, and we'll also talk to you guys next week. We'll probably have an actual NBA Finals matchup that's official. So that's coming next week. And more NHL. So we'll be in the Stanley Cup Finals. So that's all coming up next week. That and more. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys later.